Alright guys, today is all about Six Flags because they announced a lot of big things coming in 2026. I know Kingda and Six Flags Great Adventure is the hot topic and I made a separate video on them, but I want to go over everything else that Six Flags just announced today because we've got a lot to talk about. So let's start off with Canada's Wonderland and Carowinds. They are both receiving new water rides. Now, Canada's Wonderlands is stated as an attraction, and Carowinds is a ride. So I have reason to believe that the water ride going to Carowinds is going to be in the dry park, and the water attraction going to Canada's Wonderland is going to be in the water park. It makes sense with the wording, to me at least. It could be the opposite. It's very vague. We definitely don't know what these are, but I definitely think the Carowinds one could be a log flume. A launched log flume maybe even, and then the Canada's Wonderland one, who knows, it could literally be any water slide, maybe a water coaster or something along those lines. But let's move on to Kings Island, which is unfortunately getting a family attraction. Now, what will this be? I think it will be a family coaster, something similar to Big Bear Mountain, but definitely not as good because it definitely won't have as good of theming. It's really sad. I definitely thought Kings Island could have gotten something really good like an Extreme Spinner or even an RMC. But yeah, they're going the family route, which I do think is fine given everything else that the Six Flags chain is adding. But I would have rather seen one of those other parks get a family coaster and have this one get a truly ultra elite coaster. Because this park, more than any other, needs an ultra elite coaster. They have a ton of good rides, but they definitely do not have anything that makes me want to rush back there, make me want to go there every single year. And they just missed that opportunity this time, which is really sad. Not Soak City will be receiving a very small addition. This will be just water park enhancements and overall aesthetic enhancements. Nothing too big here. Six Flags Magic Mountain is definitely one of the biggest parks in 2026. They are receiving a first of its kind in North America, and I think my mind and everyone else's mind is jumping to the Axis coaster. It seems like such a Six Flags thing to do. I know that it's part Cedar Fair now, but this could be a holdover attraction from Six Flags. Obviously, this was rumored to actually come in 2025. That didn't happen, so it could definitely be a holdover attraction from the old Six Flags, which would make a lot of sense. And Access definitely makes a ton of sense at Magic Mountain, and it would be a great addition. I'm personally not the biggest fan of the Access coaster, but I think it would do wonders for them, bring in a ton of people, be a huge GP pleaser. How reliable would it be? I don't know. Probably not very, but you never know on these things. It's very new. We haven't even seen one open to the public yet, so it could really go either way. Six Flags Great America is celebrating their 50th anniversary with a new kids edition. So, I mean, you could say what you want about it. I think Rakshasa should have been held over to the 50th so they could have an actually good 50th anniversary instead of just park improvements and a kids area. But it's whatever. And then we get to the big one, Six Flags Great Adventure. I'm not spending too long on this because, again, I did a whole video on it. As all of you know by now, Kingda is closing forever, as well as Green Lantern, Parachutes, and Twister. Zumanjaro is not confirmed to be closed yet. It might be, but it also might not, which makes me think it will be a reimagining by Mack Rides. It could also be that 400-foot Extreme Spinner, but right now I'm leaning towards the reimagining just because they left out Zumanjaro. If they do clarify that Zumanjaro is closing too, I might switch over to the Mack Extreme Spinner, and especially if a ton of white markers start popping up around the top hat, then I'm like, okay, it's definitely the 400-foot Extreme Spinner. Either way, it's going to be an elite coaster from Mack Rides. If they go the reimagining route, it's going to be amazing. They could extend the layout into Green Lantern's plot. They could do a whole lot with it. It would be amazing. And then the Extreme Spinner, I think a lot of people are sleeping on this thing. I said in the past video, but this ride would have two of the all-time greatest elements with that inverted launch and the huge 400-foot spinning drop. I mean, those two elements alone would definitely make it a top 10 potentially even top 5 coaster for me. I could realistically see that beating El Toro. So let's move on to Six Flags Over Texas, which is getting a record-breaking dive. And I think this could be the Giga Dive. I know some people are saying it doesn't make sense for a park like Over Texas to get something that big, but I could definitely see it happening. That was one of the coasters suggested in their survey, and I think it's actually coming to fruition. Am I super happy about it? No, not exactly, but I think the GP definitely will be. I mean, just picture something the height of Leviathan or Panthurian, but as a dive coaster. That would definitely freak the GP out. It should definitely be the best dive coaster, at least layout-wise, because they'll have so much speed to work with, they'll definitely need to burn it off. And overall, it's just a really solid, smart move. Nothing too flashy, but also definitely something that's going to catch the GP's eye, something that'll bring them into the park. And last, but unfortunately not least, is Six Flags Mexico's Family Boomerang. I wish this was least, but unfortunately there's a few other pretty lackluster additions here, which is to be expected. I mean, they can't all be home runs. But this is a very weird addition because obviously this was supposed to be Siren's Curse, and in the end they still got a new gen Vekoma, just not even close to as good of one as Siren's Curse. It'll be fine, but it definitely won't be anything too special. Won't be a world beater. Won't be top 3 in the park. But anyways, that is all that Six Flags had to announce for 2026. There's obviously a lot of parks missing, and I think this is sort of the strategy they're going for now, is they're going to focus on a few parks really heavily and then sort of leave the others to starve until next year. And I have a feeling Great Adventure is going to be a huge one that you're going to want to look out for. Magic Mountain, obviously. Carowinds and Canada's Wonderland are going to be huge. Obviously, Cedar Point will still be huge, but they just got Top Thrill 2, Siren's Curse, Wild Mouse, everything, so definitely makes sense for them to take an off year until 2027. So that is all that I have for today's video. Let me know what you guys think of these big additions down in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.